lay down his life for any one of them, and not only for them, but for what the club represents beyond its members. And but then it gets them into these crazy violent situations, and then his wife starts doing what she can to try and it's completely rational.
She loves those people in that.
But
in that show.
I should point out that in this case, I just don't have any information about this guy. It's just a story that this random other guy from prison told me. Was he lying to me? Maybe. Did everything he say to me, was it all bullshit? Maybe. But
the story as it is, though, in that perspective, is what you have to go off of.
And you can't say that it's not possible, because if an explosion can erupt out of an abyss and eventually condense into self-aware life forms, then I'm sure a wife could lie about her husband. It's not the craziest thing that's ever happened.
You know what? I find that, certainly this, possibility is true, but it does kind of, drive me crazy in the fact that it seems like so many people are into this idea that the false accusations thing is so high. And, it's hard. It seems like it's just hard to bear at moments, just hearing of, obviously with the amount, if the idea is 1 in 3 is most certainly the false accusations thing, seriously cannot be that high. If it's out of every suspected 1,000 cases is 2% is false accusation, then that number is not even anywhere in comparison to this sexual fire that is within men to reproduce. And if we're not educating people properly on consent and healthy sexual relations, then certainly you have we build a bomb daily, and we experience the repercussions of it going off all the time, man. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah. I think the biggest danger about all these things is the risk of becoming ideological about it, because I have had conversations with some women who have such a skewed view of all men that they literally do think that all men are poison, essentially. And so then, our whole justice system would fail. It's okay, you're not innocent until you're proven guilty. You have a penis, so you're guilty.
Yeah.
And that's not the right answer either. And so I just hope that we can navigate through all this for everyone's well-being and come out better for it all in the end. Because, we're getting better every generation, I think, so long as we can manage to stay sane about the whole conversation and to be able to have the conversation. Because I feel like I've said things on this podcast and even in this conversation tonight that some of these characters I'm describing that I've encountered before would have just absolutely exploded at me if they were in the room, because how dare you assert anything contrary to what they believe is true. And when dialogue between individuals fails, and when we're no longer able to look at a situation from every possible angle, just mentally explore the situation from every possible angle, and give the devil its due, well then, then you're censoring information, you're censoring thought, and you're censoring freedom in a sense. But then, so the argument is, wouldn't a woman's safety trump my ability to think freely, perhaps? You can make that case. And, well, I don't know. Definitely a woman's safety and everyone's safety is important, but safety isn't a guaranteed thing. The world's dangerous, and no one gets out alive. I don't know, man. This shit's tricky.
Well, certainly
But no one's arguing that men should be allowed to rape women. That's the thing
No.
that gets me, is like some of these people that get so ideologically pumped up about it, is that no one is disagreeing there, you know? We're all on the same page. It's just trying to keep a level head about it all and get through it.
I think the one thing to remember, and it seems like a lot of people seem to be very caught up in this when it comes to this idea of, I have the right to say this because I have freedom of speech, is freedom of speech allows you to properly articulate your opinion. It does not, however, shield you from hate speech. And it's just...
Well, whatever happened to, you know, fucking sticks and stones break my bones, words can never hurt me. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, it's obviously the case that, like, if your dad spends every fucking moment of dialogue with you saying that you're a piece of shit who's never going to make it in the world, that's going to psychologically damage a kid, perhaps beyond repair, if it happens from an early enough age and never stops. But, you know, provided that this person has a well put together social environment and family, which is by no means anything to just assume is the case, but assuming it was the case, then any random fucking other person's words, who gives a shit? I mean, if someone's... And it's obvious when someone is speaking in a derogatory fashion to try and actually undermine you as a being. What are you going to do? React to that impulsively? Or are you just going to shrug it off? And
Yeah, you do have the ability to, once again, pick your battles.
Yeah.
And, I certainly hope people do have a strong sense of self to just kind of, like, slough someone off and be like, man, like, their opinion or what they're saying to me is, like, whether it be in your own opinion is sexist, racist, or whatever the fuck you want to, like, put it as, like, just hits you and you're able to slough it off and move on with your life. Like, there's most certainly no lack of, like, shitty opinions that are presented in front of you, and even in your own perspective of, like, what a shitty opinion might be. But if you have the ability to, like, slough it off and move on with your day,
then you're actually the one with the power.
yeah.
Because if the racist comes at you and says some racist shit and you fly off the handle and make a huge scene, then they've won, essentially.
Yeah.
But if everyone was just like, whatever, that guy's a fucking racist, and we go on about our day trying to be good people and not be racist, then the thing should turn out just fine. I mean, unless, you know, hypothetically this guy manages to get together with a whole bunch of other racists and somehow form a militia to, you know, turn the whole world racist again or something. I mean, we're hardly out of the woods with that one. I mean,
I guess when what is it, overt and covert, like, racism, like, definitely when it comes to, like, lynching and whatnot, again, like, yeah, but yeah, once again, just behavior that was possibly not nubbed out again, once again boils up to this point where, like, yeah, like, this hatred manifesto has come to this point that it justifies infringing on other people's rights and freedoms and health and safety. Like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah, man. Freedom of speech. I think it's amazing that we have this technology like social media, and everyone can essentially be at the podium in front of, well, the world. Potentially. I mean, you're putting your shit on the internet, and it's just it's sheer unpredictable, it seems, luck of the draw. I mean, I remember when I was really active on the Instagram when I was traveling, just posting those. I had, like, the classic backpacker Instagram page for a while, and it blew my mind which posts just naturally accumulated an enormous amount of likes versus ones that I thought were way better that hardly got any attention. And it's, like, who knows why? I mean, it's just the way shit bubbles up in the internet. But anyways, my point being is that you're essentially speaking to the world. Potentially it could go viral and everyone could hear what you said. And then it's on the internet, it's documented, it's recorded. It's like, oh, you said this one time. I'll play you the fucking video. Or I'll read the post.
Yeah. Trying to bite you in the ass.
And it's amazing that people don't speak with more care. It's just, I mean, well, it just goes to show how little folks think about whatever noises are spewing out of their mouth to begin with. All the more reason to not take the majority of it seriously, because what are you going to do? Stop everyone who's an idiot from being an idiot? I mean, it comes back down to just being the example,
point.
I guess.
Depends on how much that action is.
But yeah, I guess it comes back to your point about picking your battles.
Yeah.
Is this worth my energy? What are the implications of this person just going on without me engaging?
Well, I remember we were working at St. Mary's Airmark, and there was a guy who was a high school dropout who was in this back little janitor's office that was near part of this ventilation system, and he was back there just mixing up all of the cleaning chemicals because he thought that together all of them would make the super ultimate cleaning chemical.
Like when all the Voltron robots get together.
He was about to mix a shit ton of ammonia and bleach together.
Oh no.
Yeah, and that would have fucking potentially killed everyone in this kitchen. Just because, yeah. And it was just a moment of like, hey man, what are you doing? And just kind of quickly nubbing that one out and being like, I don't think you have any idea of like,
holy fuck, man,
what you're doing. And it turns out I almost died at work today without even knowing what the fuck happened. Yeah,
you just gotta be, running around putting out little fires.
Little
like
fires
that.
everywhere.
Yeah, fuck.
But,
I mean, there's no end to shit like that. That's for sure. That you need to tend to. I mean, even on the roof. I mean.
Turns out this wood's all rotten, and we almost all fell through it today.
Yeah. Or, like, you might have some questionable folks on the roof that, you wouldn't even potentially guess were questionable at first until you go and pull up an anchor and you find out not a single one of those spikes was in a stud, and you're like,
Or you step back and you yank on it and you see the anchor come up a little bit and you go, this is just me giving some nice little yanks here. I wonder what happens if I fell 10 feet and had a good yank.
Yeah. Oh man, one of the things that sketches me out super bad about some lanyards, how they're designed, is I don't know if you remember the ones in particular where they'll just slide all the way down the rope if they don't have the right tension
not the
on
tension,
them.
or they're not completely up above you by like
they're hanging
foot and a foot and a half or something.
It's roughly a foot, I think.
Yeah.
But like, say it's a walkable roof and you're just kind of standing and your rope isn't totally taut, and then the lanyard's just hanging there, and and then if you were to slip and fall, the lanyard would just slide all the way down the rope with you.
Yeah, I had a fall where I had to definitely grab onto the rope before the fucking saw the edge of the roof coming up pretty quick, and I was like, oh, that lanyard's not... That rope grab is not most certainly going to do anything for me here.
It's crazy, man, because they're like the rope grabs that I like to use are just locked unless you actively unlock them on the rope.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I like, because you don't have to worry about shit like that on those. But then it's interesting too, because you get in a situation where it's wintertime and you're still roofing for a while, because you got to make that money, and there's a lot of frost and ice on the roof from the night before, or say it's just like all synthetic Novaseal prep material, and you haven't shingled it yet, and it's all covered in snow, and that shit is slick when it's wet or frosty even. And so I was just moving around the roof, so I had my rope grab disengaged so I could move, and then of course I miss a step or something and slip. Near miss report, gotta write that stuff up, gotta take action to make sure shit like this doesn't happen again, so that we can obviously maintain safe work practices and make sure we all go home at the end of the day, because you don't have to explain why. So then you're falling down the roof and you're holding your rope grab in its unlocked position because you were just moving around previously, and now you're falling down the roof because and the rope grab's sliding down the rope because you're not engaged, and so you have to do something that's very unintuitive, which is let go.
Yeah, I struggle with that one, man.
There was definitely a moment where I was, for sure, had this happen to me, and I was falling off the roof and like sliding down the roof in this manner, and I had to just let go of the rope grab so that locking mechanism engages again, grabs the rope, stops me from falling.